Guess who has the 69th pick this year?
I'm not sure who was draft pick 69 this year, Jules.
I do.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They do.
I didn't know that. Wow. I should have announced that.
They should have you.
You're right.
You need to go in and announce the 69th pick for the Patriots.
That's a good idea. I might have to do it now, Jules. I might have to do it.
Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. I'm Julian Edelman.
And I'm Rob Gronkowski.
And this is the show where your favorite dudes talk about their favorite dudes.
And Jules, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to do the all-dude defense. And we've got plenty of free agency talk.
And then we wrap up the show by talking about the chillest dude of the week presented by Coors Light.
You got to stick around to the very end. Let's go.
Let's do it, Jules. This is a big one. All defense. Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio. All defense, the guys we used to face, the guys we used to take down, the guys that were all pros and made them average Joes. Because that's what we used to do out there on the field to the all-pro defensive team guys that we, whenever we face them out there, out on that football field. But today, we're not playing no more. So we're going to name the all-dudes, all-defense team. Let's get it going, Jules. But lately, what have you been up to out there, out in L.A.?
My family's been in town. I hosted my sister, her husband, my parents, and then I had my little girl, and then my boy Dro's in town. So we've had a full house here in LA, doing a lot of chores with my dad's in town. We're just fucking doing chores. You know, we got to get paint done on the house. We're making little things in the side yard. So many little projects. My dad hit Home Depot, I kid you not, maybe 17 times in the last 6 days. He just loves going to Home Depot. I mean, I got to fix this little cabinet. Oh, this light's off. Oh, we got to get the paint matched. Oh, we got to get a freaking side shuffle thing. I mean, this guy goes to Home Depot as much as I put socks on. It's crazy. So I was hosting my family, watched some of the basketball. Basketball's been kind of cool. I must say, these new trades, Luka on the Lakers, freaking
Jimmy
Butler
traded from the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
like weeks ago.
I think basketball it's I don't know, it's just because maybe football is over and I'm more watching the basketball and hockey landscape. But I feel like those two sports are they're flying right now, and it's been fun to watch basketball, the hockey after the hockey, the nations, four nations,
like it's international series.
I was sad football ended, but I'm starting to get a little of my sport fix off of basketball because of those trades, and then the Four Nations hockey and I mean I'm a little sad right now. Brad Marchand got traded to the Panthers.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Brad Marchand did so much for the city of Boston, too. He brought a championship there, and just a great dude overall. I met him just a few times throughout my, time when I was on the New England Patriots, just being up there, up in the city. What a great dude. Such a hockey dude, man. And it's so wild seeing those guys because, like, you meet them and you're like, man, how is this guy a professional athlete? Like, what is he, like 5'8", Jules? 5'9"?
He's a smaller guy. Smaller guy.
His skill set is just so phenomenal. Like how quick he is.
Too.
He is a fighter. He'll go after
anyone.
He
doesn't fight, but like he's just like he was like a hard-nosed, well, then they call him nose face killer. He was just a hard-nosed, like crazy, tough little dude on that ice, man.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Sean Thornton had anything to do with Brad Marchand going down to the, Florida Panthers? Because Sean Thornton was a big part of the Boston Bruins back in the day and being teammates with, with Brad Marchand. You think he's the one who brought him down to Florida?
1,000%. 1,000%. Thornton was over there. Isn't he? He's like the, he's he's a GM.
Mm-hmm. He's a GM of the Panthers now?
Yeah, Thornton.
Remember, I knew he had an office, job, but I didn't know he was the actual general manager, man. Good for him. That's dope.
Didn't we we've hung out with Thornton a few times in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see the cup with him.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a little party thing. Were you there?
I wasn't there for it. I met him just a few times as well. And that's one dude I would not want to scrap with, on the streets. Those hockey guys, those fighters like Rob Ray, Ty Domi, Sean Thornton, you throw them, they're just a handful of those type of guys. And those are the dudes you don't want to mess with, whenever you're out and about, at a restaurant or on the streets or at any time, because they can, throw some fists. That's for sure, Jules.
Definitely. They can. They're fucking tough dudes. And
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing it on ice, which makes it 10 times harder. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
It's a different skill set that you got to have on the skates. It's a whole nother, type of balance and, balance and stability that you got to have, when you're out on the ice hockey skates. You can be the best fighter in the world on land, but the second you hit those skates, it's a whole different muscle system that you're hitting. I played hockey my whole life, Jules. I loved hockey so much. I follow the NHL, especially when it comes down to playoffs. It's kind of like the NBA and NHL. I don't really watch much right now.
It's too many games.
Too many games. I agree. There's way too many games. It is hard to follow it, but when it comes down to NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, man, I'm full speed into it. I'm watching every single game, especially NHL playoffs. The Four Nations series reminded me of the NHL playoffs. It was all out
fun.
Fights every second, every player playing hard as they possibly could. That was fun to see. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the games because I was in Australia, but I saw the highlights and I read about it. And that's the type of hockey that I love. That's the type of hockey I played when I was growing up as a kid. So props and kudos, to what they do when they're going full speed, especially in the playoffs.
And Sean Thornton is the chief revenue officer. We would be fucking really bad to not know what he does there. We love you, Sean. Shout out to Brad. He had an unbelievable, Mershon, having an unbelievable career in Boston. We all spent a lot of time in that that awesome city together and created a lot of cool memories. May not have been with each other, but cross-secting memories. We went to a lot of those Stanley Cup games. They came a lot to our Patriot games, and you throw a Celtics game in, you see everyone that, like, it's just, that was an unbelievable career. Rob, what have you been doing on the East Coast?
Well, all right, Jules. Well, just want to talk about Brad Marchand real quick once again. I mean, just thank you for everything that you did for the city of Boston. And the first time I met him actually was courtside at a Boston Celtics basketball game with, guess who? The one and only John Dooley. John Dooley had a couple.
He's getting married.
Baby. Dooley's getting married. Yeah.
Congratulations,
yes,
Dooley.
Congrats, baby. Dooley's just a Boston legend up there in the Boston area. If you guys don't know who he is.
Echo Store.
Storage. Hey, storage. Who knows?
This guy's, he's wicked smart. He's wicked smart.
And we're wicked wrong with how we pronounce the name of his company. But he had a couple front row seats. I met Dooley front row, and then there was Brad Marchand front row with us as well with Dooley. So that was really cool to meet him my first time there. And he was kind of like the first NHL player that I truly met as well. So I thought it was a really cool moment to meet him there. But I am on the East Coast now. Coming back to that, Jules, love the East Coast. I'm an East Coast guy, grew up in Buffalo. I went to Pittsburgh my senior year in high school, but I went all the way out to Arizona. I'm a West Coast guy every once in a while. I appreciate the West Coast, but I'm truly an East Coast guy, Jules, and that's why I live out here. I live all across the East Coast. I got places all over the place because I'm fortunate enough.
Because you're the Gronk, dude.
Because I am the Gronk. The Gronk has a couple spots because he loves the East Coast. He needs a spot in every state that's, that's bordered to the ocean. But, I've been actually finally.
You have a place in Delaware?
Yeah, no,
not
borders
the ocean.
But I got all my LLCs in Delaware. So Delaware is coming through. Yeah.
Freaking Robbie G.
Yeah, LLC saving my ass when I get in trouble. You can't sue me.
And if the tax people are listening to this,
sue my LLC, which has no money in it.
Probably don't want to give off our business advice to the public, but
why not? That's what we're here for, Jules.
We're transparent. We're transparent.
You want to know what's something I've been finally able to get back into, because during the season, you're flying all over the place, Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, I went to Australia. I was jet lagged for like a week, but I'm finally just getting into a routine again, a workout routine, like to feel strong, to feel confident. And dude, Jules, it's amazing, man. I miss that. And that's what I truly miss about the game of football and being around, all your teammates, is that routine, And when you're down that day and you're in the weight room, you're going to get picked up no matter what, because you have a group of guys around you. So it feels good. I just started back up on Friday. I did a full leg workout. I really couldn't move after that. But then that Saturday, I ran my first 5K in 5 years as well. It was my first time running over a mile in the last 4 years. I think I ran a mile last year. I usually just do long distance sprints, like 100 to 150 yards. I think to me, that's long distance sprinting. But dude, let me tell you, that 5K hurt more than anything, man. It was probably one of the worst half hours I've had, in my life. The first 10 minutes were cool, but from 10 minutes to 40 minutes to finish that 5K, man, I wanted to cry, bro. Like, I really did want to cry. Like, it hurt that bad. Everything hurt. But what really hurt, like, the sprints are cool, burns off all the bad calories, all the bad food in your body, all the bad drinks that you've been drinking. But that long distance run, bro, it was cleaning out my organs, man. I never felt my organs work like that. I never really go for 20 minutes straight. We want to run a route, then we have 45 seconds off. Man, my organs, I felt like my liver started sweating. My small intestine started just like squeezing even more and just bursting out sweat out of my stomach. And then my freaking large intestine was just squeezing as well and just detoxing everything out there, man. It hurt, but let me tell you, it felt so good, man. It got me back on track. Yeah, I couldn't move on Sunday, but that's okay. I know you just got to take one of those days and just use it as a rest day as well. So I watched like 5 movies. I actually watched Dens of Thieves 1 and 2. Man, Gerard Butler, thank you for producing those movies and acting in them, because on an off day where I was super sore and couldn't move, you had me entertained, man. I appreciate that, brother.
We recently had O'Shea Jackson on Games with Names.
Is O'Shea Jackson, is that Ice Cube's son?
Correct? That is Ice Cube, correct?
So here we go. I'm watching the movie, and obviously the movie Compton, right? What's
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton. So I love that movie. And watching that movie, I knew that was Ice Cube's son playing Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton. So then I have Dens of Thieves on, and I'm like, all right, like, that's Ice Cube's son again. So I go in the whatever where it tells all the actors' names and all that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't see Ice Cube. Like, I don't see the last name of Ice Cube, Jules. I'm like, I guess that's not him, but it looks exactly like him. And then my friend that recommended me the movies to watch, Dens of Thieves 1 and 2, he's like, after I finished, I was like, yo, bro, I appreciate that. That was my style, bomb movies. Thank you. He goes, yeah, Ice Cube's son did such a good job. And I was like, I knew that was Ice Cube's son. I knew it. But Ice Cube's real name isn't Ice Cube.
No, it's O'Shea Jackson. Mm-hmm. We should just have, so you saying he should just have Ice Cube Jr.
Yes.
on there.
That's what I was looking for.
You're a beauty. The great movies. What's the other 2 movies?
I didn't watch. Those are the 2 movies that I watched, and then I watched the show with. Oh man, it just came out on Netflix over the last 2 weeks. It's top 10 right now. Oh man, I watched Zero Day. How'd you know that? Zero Day.
Because I started it.
Yeah, I watched.
He got dementia?
Robert De Niro. He's has something dementia? Like that. He's got something going on.
Or is this sci-fi?
Mm-hmm.
Is this sci-fi or is it? It takes me on a 45-minute episode. It'll take me 3 nights to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? It'll take me 3 nights because I fall asleep after 10 minutes, and then I got to rewatch, and then I'll watch it takes me so much time to focus on those. So like I'm halfway through the 2nd episode, and I'm still wondering if this is dementia or if this is sci-fi.
I feel like it's, the character that he's playing, and that he has possibly the first signs of dementia, or
Yeah.
or
Because I don't think Robert De Niro Jr. is doing sci-fi right now.
Mm-mm.
Or Robert.
Mm-mm. No, you're all confused because of Ice Cube Jr.
Robert De Niro
and Ice Cube.
Jesus.
It's not Robert De Niro Jr. It's just Robert De Niro. All right.
Hey, it's a fresh Monday. My folks just got out of town. I had them in town for 8 days. I'm flustered right now, man.
I understand.
I'm flustered. But let's transition into, how about Jimmy Johnson retiring?
Jules, I mean, it was a shocker, but it wasn't, really a shocker because, Jimmy Johnson's, been going forever. He's 81, 82 years old, but it just didn't feel real that he retired because he's been there for so long. And what Jimmy Johnson brought to the table, will never be replaced. There's no doubt about that. And I was just fortunate enough to work with Jimmy Johnson just a few times this year, because when he was on, I was off. And when I was on air, he was off that weekend. And then we got to work the playoffs together. So that's when I really got to know Jimmy Johnson, because I never truly worked with him on a continuous basis. And I finally got to do that. So it was an honor to be with him his last 4-5 weeks of his career at the NFL pregame kickoff show. And what I loved about Jimmy Johnson is just that, that mindset that he brought to the table, that smile that he brought every single morning. Yes.
Great smile.
End of the day, that smile was gone. And he recognized that. And he told everyone that smile is not going to be there end of the day, because he's a morning person. But in the morning, man, he had a smile from here to here. And it just brightened up my day whenever I saw that. But the way that guy can just tell stories is second to none, man. I can sit there all day and listen to him tell stories for 6 hours straight, bro. He's just that good at it. He's got a memory that's, goes to the moon and
like
back.
An elephant.
Yes, he can remember every single thing that happened, all details that happened from, throughout his whole entire career. And the way he just tells those stories too, it keeps you at the edge of your seat, and you're just there to listen to him and just enjoy him. So thank you, Jimmy Johnson, for everything that you have done, and just leaving an impact on my journey in life forever, even though we didn't get to work together every single weekend.
Without a doubt, Jimmy's like a football god, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, he's hit like the big three. He's won a national championship in college, won Super Bowls as a head coach GM, and then he also had an insane media career.
Mm-hmm.
And to top it, he probably has the best hairline in the history of TV. That guy has his gray hairline. I remember we were at Baker or wherever we went to. We had a Bahamas trip, and it was flowing. We were doing some freaking Survivor team building thing. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do. In the
and
Bahamas.
Jimmy's over there. He was in his full Survivor mode because he's done like 3 or 4 seasons of that Survivor and almost won it wherever. I don't know for a fact, but he did a bunch of those Survivor things. And Jimmy was leading us. He had pregame talks, and the wind was blowing. He had his shirt off. I think he had like a little, bandana on. And I just saw his hair flowing in the air at the beach. I'm like, man, that guy's got great hair.
He does. But who has a better hairline, Jimmy Johnson or Mel Kiper Jr.?
I think Terry Bradshaw. No. It was such a pleasure, and it was such a treat for me, to get to watch Jimmy Johnson work. I'd watch games with them every Sunday. I'd watch the first set of games, and then they go do the show. And just being a fly on the wall watching... See, look at that hairline. Being a fly on the wall watching Howie, Michael, Terry, Jimmy, Kurt, Jay, watching them all intermingle and talk to each other and talk about the show and talk about it, just felt like a locker room, and it was really cool to get to be able to watch that and be a part of that for a couple years. And you know, this last Super Bowl, I already kind of told the story, but Jimmy threw me a nugget. It was my first time going and watching a practice. I went to the Chiefs practice pregame of the Super Bowl just to kind of talk with people, get insight for the game, for the show that we were about to do, the pregame. And we were in that production meeting, and Jimmy threw out, you know, he goes, "Hey, Jules, remember, you know, we were sitting next to Veach, and he was talking about Juju. He gave me this little nugget. He says, you could use that." And like, I was like, oh, it was perfect. And then I used it in the show. And, you know, Jimmy was just always he's a coach. He coached me right there. And he was a great coach at it. And like you said, in the morning, I was an early bird. I get into the show early, and we have a earlier production meeting than the big show. And I go up and grab a coffee, and Jimmy Johnson at like 5 a.m. just sitting there, like you said, ear to ear, smile. Freaking, as a coach, I think he knew the weather report. He was talking football. We'd always talk something about, you know, what was going on. And, you know, you're going to miss those days. And I do remember Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long telling a story where when they said Jimmy was retiring, they had a farewell dinner last year.
It was about 4 or 5 years ago this happened.
Yeah, and they found out he was coming back, so they left the goddamn dinner. So those guys, it's been an absolute treat. We love you, Jimmy, and we appreciate all the insight and the knowledge you've given, not just to us, but the viewer, players, coaches. He's just given a lot of insight of what he's learned from this game through the years that he's been in it, and he's delivered it to everyone else. We love you, Jimmy.
Yes, that's for sure. Jimmy Johnson, we appreciate everything that you have done for the game of football. You will be missed, but you will always be remembered, my man. Thank you. Appreciate everything you have done.
He's led heroes are remembered, Jimmy, but legends never die.
And he's a legend.
Never die.
He's a legend.
Gronk, are you taking the big spot now? Are you full time there?
You know, Jules, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, my man. You know, I have another year left on my deal, and it's the same exact deal that I had last year, being part time. 9 appearances during the season, then all 4 playoffs. And it's a great gig that I have. And I'm just going to sit back. Fox knows what they have with me. So I'm just going to sit back, relax. And if Fox wants me to go full time, hey, I'm cool to go full time. If Fox just wants me to play out the year, I'm cool to play out the year this year. Part time again, man. So whatever it is, very content with where I'm at right now with everything. But I'm just going to play it off and how it is right now and just do the best with whatever's going on.
I like that answer.
I appreciate that, Jules. I appreciate that, man.
I like that answer.
It's kind of like, you know, could just control what you can control, Jules. That's what I'm going to do. We learned that with Coach Belichick a lot. Just control the, you know, variables that, you know, that can make you better. And that's what I'm doing here as well, you know, on the broadcast team.
I like that. Speaking of Coach Belichick, the offseason.
Coach Belichick
is already hitting.
It's hitting big time. I mean, this guy has had one of the biggest off seasons I've ever seen in my life. He's making a splash every single weekend. I mean, Coach always harped on us. Oh, Ralphie. Even Ralphie's getting in on this action. He loves what Coach Belichick's been doing.
He started getting,
he loves
getting loud.
But just the way that he's presenting himself, I kind of like it a lot, Jules, because he kind of like...
I saw him. He switched back, though. When he started spring practice. You see the spring practice at North Carolina LTs there. There's a bunch of hype. And then they were asking him questions. He went right back. He went right back to old Bill. Hey, it's good to have a football out here. You know, we haven't even been able to do that. Look, we're just trying to learn the game. You know, Yeah.
Well, you know, Jules, I think we should, help him out a little bit. We should
Look.
we should make a trip down to Chapel Hill
Should we go to
we have
Chapel
some
Hill?
time. I mean, of course. I mean, what I've done for you guys, Jules, I gave you a career. Gronk, I drafted you. I think you guys should come to Chapel Hill and help me out and show these guys how it's done.
He could probably show us a hell of a frat party, I bet. I bet he's dialed. He's dialed with the frat parties.
What do you think a weekend at UNC would look like if we went down there, Jules? I mean, of course, we would hit practice, talk to the guys, all that good stuff. But what do you see? How would it look in your eyes?
I've heard they have a pretty nice library I'd like to go see. I heard there's a couple historical landmark halls there I heard it's a beautiful campus. Especially with right now in the spring, I bet you it's beautifully popping right now with the trees coming back.
Maybe I would say water some flowers to keep the campus looking beautiful. Plant some trees, Jules. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Keep the air fresh.
Or do we just hit frat row and just fucking go crazy with the kids? Beer bong. Beer bong.
That's just called a nice stroll down Franklin Street, Jules.
Is that what it is?
Yes, Franklin Street.
How do you know?
UNCA. I know all the good spots.
Look at Rob.
Knows
the
spots,
fucking street. Chapel Hill, Franklin Street. We'll see you soon. Shit. How about DK going to goddamn Steelers?
All right, Jules. Here's my take right now. There has been more action 3 days prior to free agency than I've ever seen before in my life. Guys are getting contract extensions. Players are getting traded and getting new contracts that are making them a top 5 paid player at that position. And here's my take on why there's so many transactions right now before free agency hits. It's because the free agent market is so mediocre right now. There's no one.
Mediocre.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, Jules. Just like my speaking skills, mediocre, but that's okay. Yeah. The free agency, there's no player that should be the highest paid player, in my opinion, that's a free agent right now going into free agency. I think there's some good players, but I don't think there's a player that's going to change your team, or should be the highest paid player at that position. So that's why I feel like there's so much, going on and so many transactions going on right now because of that reason, Jules. What do you think?
Oh man, Chris Godwin got $66 million, 44 guaranteed.
Really? That just happened? Did that just go down right now? From who? The Tampa Bay.
Not right now, but that's
from the Tampa Bay Bucks, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But Chris Godwin, I would actually say.
He left $20 million on the table?
Really? How do you leave $20 million on the table?
Pats offered him $20 million more.
Oh, geez. But I mean, why would you, switch up your scenario? I mean, you're with the Bucks, the offense, you got Baker Mayfield, Tampa, just a great city overall. You got the weather. You've been familiar with it for your whole entire career.
Weather's everything, and he's getting older, I think. Just when you're that old, when you've been in a place for so long, and that money's probably not that much more. It probably was $20 million on a non-guaranteed. He could have earned more money. I'm sure they got it close to the guarantee. There's no way you want to go learn a new offense, learn a new system, uproot your family. Like that's a great move for him. Miles, like with what you were saying, I agree. A lot of these signings are probably a lot of these signings, like the Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Josh Allen, those are some of the best players. So I bet you those teams did that before free agency, because that number is probably going to go even that much higher the longer they wait for those three guys. Max Crosby, Josh Allen, Myles Garrett. Those three guys, those teams have to get them done. And I think they're also probably trying to create a little cap space with the Bills, extending them, because they get to prorate that contract over those next 5 years as well. So I think he's going to be a less of a hit, even though he's getting a contract extension for these next couple years. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. I don't know for a fact, but that's what it kind of looks like. I don't know. What were you going to say, Rob?
I was going to say that's back to my point. You see these teams taking care of the guys that are the best in the league right now instead of waiting for free agency to pick someone up, because they're realizing, hey, we already have the best player, at that position in the league. Why are we going to go get free agency and sign a guy when we can sign our guy that should be on this team for good? And that's what the Raiders did with Max Crosby. That's what the Buffalo Bills did with Josh Allen. The Cleveland Browns did that with Myles Garrett, which was a really kind of contradictory situation. How do you say that word? Contradiction situation, Jules, with that, because Myles Garrett asked for a trade to a contender, and then he signed the biggest deal in NFL history of a non-QB. I kind of want to hear his explanation with that when he gets asked that, by the media.
Smart.
He's going to be asked that. Did he just say that to use that as leverage?
Maybe.
Or did he really want to go to a contender? Because if he wanted to go to a contender, I don't think the Cleveland Browns are in the position to contend for a Super Bowl, Jules. And then
I think that he wanted to get out of there, and they just said, "No, here's $30 million a year. Shut up and stay."
Now he can just take
35.
He can
40?
take a private jet out of there whenever he wants now, whenever he has a day off. He has 24 hours off. He can get out of there, and it won't even affect his bank account anymore. Those BJs, that's how much money he's making. And then Chris Godwin, back to my free agency. He was the best wide receiver in the free agency class coming up, but he never even hit free agency to really think about it, because that starts Wednesday. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just signed him already because they were smart. They knew they shouldn't let him go. And you know what makes him so special is that he's so consistent as well. He's such a great teammate, on the field, great teammate off the field, just a great overall guy. He works hard. He goes out to practice with a purpose to get better, to know what he has to do. He's very, very reliable whenever his number is called, and he knows how to make big plays in big moments as well. It's just very unfortunate what happened to him last year with that injury, with a couple, minute or two left in the game when they're getting blown out. But that's just football. That happens. But it's good to see him back in Tampa. He deserves to retire as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer for everything that he has done for the community here and for the team. And just Chris Godwin, congratulations, man, on that contract.
Shout out to Tampa Bay for taking care of a player that he got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I remember a couple times I got hurt.
Yeah, that didn't really go your way, Jules.
It didn't go. We weren't back in those. I guess they didn't pay then. How about Tommy getting Geno Smith?
I think that kind of makes sense,
Bridge quarterback.
Yeah, and then also you got Pete Carroll as the head coach there, and Pete Carroll is the one who brought Geno Smith in and kind of, gave him that second chance and made his second chance a resurrection, on his quarterback career. And now he got traded to the Raiders, so he's teaming back up with Pete Carroll. So I think, it's a good situation.
Chip Kelly can use him.
Chip
Kelly's OC.
Chip Kelly, he's the OC. Wow, I didn't know that. So I knew he was at Ohio State, won that national championship, and then he was also the head coach at UCLA, because I know that because he was in my bowl game, the LA Bowl, and he won it, 2 years ago. But Chip Kelly's all over the place. I think Chip Kelly's a guy that has enough experience, that knows how to handle, any quarterback in any situation.
So I think, this is a good trade. They don't have a fucking quarterback under roster.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have third round pick. You know what you're getting with Geno Smith. He'll be a guy that, can get the offense going, but also he's not an asshole, it looks like, with other quarterbacks. So if they draft someone or they get he has fought. He has fought a player on his team. Remember the Jets? He fought one of the guys, but he grew up a lot after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's grown up, and he's a completely different player from that. But he brings at least someone that can run an NFL operation they have no one. They don't have anyone. So, I think that was a great pickup. I'm still interested to see what they do in the draft. Raiders are getting to become excited. I think the Rams getting Devontae Adams, that could be sneaky really good. They struggled in the red area. He's a really good red area target. Him and Puka are going to be fun. Puka Nacua, he's going to be able to. I think this is going to make Puka better because you get to learn from a guy like Devontae Adams, who he's a pro. He's been in there for a while. I got to hang out with Puka at the Pepsi event at the Super Bowl, and he was such a cool kid. Just like he's a Vegas bro, works hard. Think we were ripping a vape together. He's just fun. He was just a fun dude that loves. You could tell he loves to work hard. He's fucking young. He's got a lot of energy,
bro.
My type of guy. And he could hoop, and he's poly. He lives right down the street. I got to get Puka to the house. I got to get him to the nut house.
Bro, right before you just told that story about you meeting him at the Super Bowl, I was literally just going to say the same thing, that I met Puka Nacua, at the Kay Adams show at the Super Bowl this year. And we were in the back room together in the green room. And man, let me tell you, I love that guy, Jules.
Yeah.
He might be my favorite wide receiver in the NFL now, dude. He was just a dude's dude. And he was just so cool. He was laid back. He was a free spirit. I really wish that he was on the New England Patriots.
But he likes to work.
Yeah, he loves to work.
You can tell he likes to work.
Obviously, you don't become that, that solid on the field without working hard. But also, he loves to have fun too. And he just seems like he's got, the right chip on his shoulder. And just his head straight as well. He would have been great, bro. He would have been the best. Man, I love that. I love meeting him.
The Fook was we called a house in Foxborough the Fook. We were all younger players at the time, and we all used to congregate and hang out after fucking spring meetings. We played cornhole, we'd gamble, we'd go, do stupid shit. The Fook is where it was at, and he is a fucking Fook member for sure. Mm-hmm. Dane Fletcher, Nico Kudavides, Shane Vereen, Ventrone, Gronk. We'd always make fun of Ninkovich.
Nico was the outcaster, always trying to get in.
Ninkovich would we'd be having a little shindig at the Fook. And Ninko would come with this big-ass Great Dane. He'd be walking around at 9:30 at night. He'd be like, hey, guys, Paige is I'm on a walk. Give me a shot. Let me get a shot. Remember, he would stack 3 shots. Yeah. He's like, all right, Paige is going to kill me. I got to go. And he'd go walk home. And then 2 hours later, he'd come back with the dog. He's like, yeah, I'm taking the dog to take a shit right now. He'd rip another shot. Then he'd go back to his house. I'm like, Ninko. Let's go, Ninko. What are we doing?
It's the same old Ninko to this day.
Same
as
old
well.
Ninko.
To this
but
day.
Puka looks like a guy that would have been in the Fook.
Yeah.
He would have been in the Fook.
100%. Puka, keep it up, my man. Keep it up.
Oh, Pat's making some moves, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Pat's making some moves, spending some of that guap, that Gouda, that cheddar.
All right, Jules, I got a question real quick, though. So today's Monday. Free agency technically doesn't start till Wednesday, but is today the day that they can start talking to the teams?
I think it's the tampering period.
Yeah, it's where you can talk to the teams and come up with an agreement on a contract, but technically you're not allowed to sign it until Wednesday. Is that how it works officially?
I believe so. The legal tampering period is 3/10 to 3/12. It's the stupidest rule ever. They basically make the contract 2 days before free agency.
All right.
But it is what it is. Pats are signing guys. Carlton Davis, 3 years, $60 million, 34.5 guaranteed. Played with you in Tampa. Is that a good signing?
Yeah, that's a great signing. Carlton Davis still has some, left in the tank, no doubt about that. And when I got down to Tampa, I didn't know who Carlton Davis was. He was young. He was a young buck, just trying to make a name for himself. And I was literally like, who is this DB that we got on the roster? He's tall. He's a little bit skinny, but he has that dump to him, he has that strength to him, not necessarily weight room strength, but he has that football strength,
leverage.
Yeah.
Long leverage strength.
And those are the hardest DBs, I believe, to get open versus that are taller, skinnier, lengthy, but are quick too. And that's what Carlton Davis brings to the table is those, traits right there. So that's a really good signing by the New England Patriots. And that's going to be a duo right there. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis lined up at the defensive back position for the New England Patriots in the backfield. Let me tell you, then they're not going to be a lot of teams throwing on these guys.
That's two good corners. And then they also got, Harold Landry, edge rusher. If you get a guy to get a little pressure on that quarterback, that's when the interceptions come flying, when you have a good secondary. So, he's a Vrabel guy, played with Vrabel in Tennessee, 3 years, $43.5 million, 26 guaranteed. Ooh. And then I think this is a really good signing, the Morgan Moses signing, 3 years, $24 million. Veteran right tackle, started 14 games last year with the Jets. I expect that they got to get more line. Anytime you're adding to the line, young quarterback, it's like cowbell, more line. We need more cowbell, more line, more line, more line. The game, look at all the greatest teams last year. They all had the best offensive lines. Philadelphia, Detroit, the Lions had a young offensive line that they've been developing that has become very good in the run game. They're not in that same category, but the Chiefs, they had a really good offensive line, makeshift at the end because they got banged up. But that's why they've had a lot of success. You got to have a great offensive line. So I like Pat's getting more linemen. We'll talk more free agency when the dust settles. Because it hasn't even started technically legally, but it has started technically legally, but we don't know the rules, but it's weird. There's nothing better than basketball in March. The buzzard beaters, the Cinderella teams, David taking down Goliath. It's just the best.
Yeah, and you never know which players are going to take over the tournament. 1 minute, they're nobody. The next, they're future stars.
The best part of March is being on the edge of your seat, watching crazy upsets with an ice-cold Coors Light.
Dude, same here. When the games get wild, nothing beats cracking open a Coors Light and just chilling.
No matter what you love about the big tournament, those 4 weeks are truly mad, especially if your bracket fails you.
With only a 1 in 120.2 billion chance of filling out a perfect bracket, it's basically impossible.
Don't let your bracket break you. Choose chill all tournament long with Coors Light.
Submit your bracket to the ESPN Tournament Challenge presented by Coors Light for a chance to win cold, hard cash.
And for a chance to win more prizes all tournament long, visit CoorsLight.com/March Hoops.
Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer. Celebrate responsibly.
I think we should get into making our team.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, dude.
So let's get into the all dudes defensive team, Rob.
Let's do it, Jules. We had the all dudes offensive team last week. That was fun. But now today, it's the all dudes defensive team. It's the dudes that we love this year from each defensive position. And Jules, where are we going to start here? Where do you want to start?
Just talking about the trenches. Let's talk about the big boys. Let's go interior line, that D tackle. Probably, if you talk to most football people, the D tackle is probably one of the most important positions in football. If you got a guy that can plug, because then you allow that guy to take away the run game, and then the outside guys can eat. But if you have a guy that can take away the run game and then also put a little pressure on that quarterback in the middle of the pocket, which all quarterbacks hate, that's when you get suicide missions.
And when you have a defensive tackle like a Vince Wilfork, say that big, that athletic, they instantly take the run game up the middle away. Like, you don't even game plan to run the ball up the middle. Like, that's just totally taken away. And that's a whole aspect. That's a whole, quarter of a playbook that you have is running the ball up the middle. So that just shows the importance of an all-pro defensive tackle, what they can do for
all
your
dude.
team. An all dude defensive tackle. And on top of it, they want to get to the quarterback, because what defensive lineman doesn't want to sack the quarterback? So these guys can get to the quarterback as well because they're so athletic being that size. It's like Vince Wilfork. I mean, you were never going to run the ball on him going up the A gap or B gap. And then every once in a while, he was just so athletic, he would beat his, offensive lineman that was going versus, and he would sack the quarterback, and the quarterback would be scared shitless because Vince Wilfork was so big that they didn't want him to land on him, the quarterback didn't want Vince to land on them. So that just shows the importance of these dudes. So, Jules, who do you got? Let's hear your guys.
Our nominees, Chris Jones, 37 tackles, near three-peat. Could have had the greatest season ever. Come a long way from his wiener flopping out at the combine. He's come a long way.
That video will always be played every year.
Always. He's a character, too. I love Chris Jones. He's made big plays. He's a nominee. Jalen Carter. I mean, anyone with Breadman Jalen as his IG handle, he's an all-dude guy. 42 tackles, total tackles. He's just a problem. I mean, we do pregame shows all year, and we talk about those two a lot. Dexter Lawrence, unbelievable football player, just been on a shitty team. And it's tough. He's had 9 sacks last year, 44 tackles. And he's got a cool name, Dexter's Laboratory. You guys remember that on fucking Cartoon Network?
I watch that show all the time. Dexter's Laboratory was one of my big hits growing up as a kid. And Dexter Lawrence kind of reminds me of the Dexter's Laboratory. So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. What kind of dude is Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, would you say, Jules?
Whiz, without a doubt.
You're right. You hit it right on. That's what I was thinking, too.
Another nominee, Vita Vea. He doesn't even wear gloves, and he's Polynesian. He's huge. That's why he's my nominee.
Those Polynesians just have that raw strength as well. They just go into the weight room. They just chuck up like 415 for 10 on the bench, and then they just walk out of the weight room, and it's like just jaw-dropping. Like, how the heck did he just do that? That's like Vita Vea.
I want to sit around a Gatorade jug filled with kava and just drink with him. I just want to drink kava with Vita Vea. He's automatic. I mean, he had a really good year, 7 sacks, and he's just a problem. He's huge, but I just want to have kava with them, so he's my nominee. Quinnen Williams from the Jets. He's fucking big, huge, and I love whenever he talks on an interview. He says fun shit. He's always saying funny shit.
What about another Williams, Leonard Williams, from the Seattle Seahawks, who he started his career, I'm pretty sure, on the New York Giants and then went to the Jets, or did he start his career with the Jets and then went to the Giants? I'm pretty sure he started with the Jets, went to the Giants, and then he went over to Seattle. And I love the year that Leonard Williams had. He had 11 sacks. He had that interception that he brought to the house. I think it was about 80-plus yard interception. And just to see his athletic ability and the way that he ran, I mean, it was probably the longest he ever ran in his career. But he brought it to the house, and it was just so cool for a big man to do that. Everyone went crazy, when he did do that. And on top of it, I had to block him before, Julian, and it was one of the most impossible tasks I ever had to do when he was on the Jets and the Giants, when I was on the Patriots and I was going versus him. So I just want to give props to Leonard Williams for his year that he had, one of the toughest defenders, I've ever had to block. I was never moving him, but I got in his way, I could say.
Well, he's a nominee for all dude then, because any guy Rob Gronkowski can't move is an all dude to me. First team, second team. Who do you got, Rob?
Oh, man. Well, I'm going with Jalen Carter just because he's a Super Bowl champ, and he's got his IG handle, Breadman Jalen, and just the way that he came through That's what being an all dude is. You come through at the right moments. Julian, you came through in Super Bowls. You came through in the playoffs. I came through, some of the biggest moments in the playoffs, when my number was called. And Jalen Carter, he came through for the Philadelphia Eagles when it was most needed. He sacked Matthew Stafford or put pressure on him. So he had to throw the ball away on that last play to send the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl, or was it to send them to? No, yeah, it was to send the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl because of Jalen Carter coming through on the last play of the game. So that's a dude's dude, and he's just so big, beastly, fast, strong. I just got to give him props, and he seems like a dude that you want to party with too, Jules.
Definitely. I agree. First team, Jalen Carter. Second team, Vita Vea, just because he's Polynesian and I want to drink kava with him.
Mm-hmm. Just never slap his ass, Julian. One time, one of those moods where you're just going around and slapping everyone's ass in practice. I slapped Vita Vea's ass. I was like, let's go. Let's have a day. And he looked at me and like he was about to kill me, bro. And he was like, never slap my ass again. And I was like, no problem, Vito. Whatever you say, I'll do. And to this day, I never slapped his ass again, Jules.
Note taken. We'll not slap his ass, but we'll love to have some kava with him. Let's go on to our next position. Let's get to the edge. First team, the guy that gets all the attention on defense. These guys get a lot of attention. They get a lot of money. Who are our nominees, Rob?
All right, we got Myles Garrett. He's the obvious nominee here. He just signed one of the biggest deals in history. Actually, it was the biggest deal in history for a quarterback. He's just a game wrecker. 14 sacks. It was his worst sack year, I think, was his rookie year when he only had 7, but he only played in 11 games that year. Myles Garrett, one of the most consistent, edge rushers in the game of football ever in history. Too bad he's been playing for the Cleveland Browns forever, or else he would even be more well-known if he was on a popular team that's been winning. But Myles Garrett, first nominee, he's going to be either 1 or 2 as well. Jules, we also got Trey Hendrickson. This guy was the sack leader. He was the bright spot on the struggling Cincinnati's defense this year.
He wants out.
He wants out. But he might get paid. He might be, pulling the Myles Garrett effect where he says he wants out, and then he might just get one of the biggest deals in history as well. Where do you think he would go, though, Jules, if they actually do trade him? And what's cool about Trey Hendrickson, I've faced him a couple of times. Strong guy, built strong, can't really move him, high motor, hard worker. But he was cool enough. He wanted a jersey swap with me, Jules. So he actually sent me one of his Cincinnati Bengals jerseys. Check it out, man.
Jersey swap?
Yeah.
What does it say?
It's one of the coolest jerseys I actually ever put my hands on it. I'm telling you, the material feels good. It looks good. Trey Hendrickson, thank you, man. Rob.
How many jersey swaps you got?
Not a lot, man. Just a few.
I have a few too. I got a couple Kent guys. I gotta go look. But Trey Hendrickson, nominee. I'd be weird not to say that Myles Garrett's also nominated because he has awesome Halloween costumes, and I've become a Halloween person ever since my daughter. I really never liked Halloween, but she loves Halloween, and she's already talking about costumes. So Myles Garrett's in that. TJ Watt, he is a nominee. 11.5 sacks, got hurt again. But he's about to get paid a lot.
We also got Nick Bosa, 9 sacks. He was PFF's 35th best player of the year. I mean, I would say 9 sacks is kind of a down year, though, for Nick Bosa. He was one of the highest paid at the time. I think he broke the record for being the highest paid non-quarterback at one point 2 years ago. But now Myles Garrett absolutely blew that away. Max Crosby absolutely blew that away as well. And
love
then
Bosa.
Yeah, love him.
He's crazy. I saw him at we hung out at UFC in Miami last year or something. And I couldn't stop looking at his thighs in those jeans. I was like, man, this dude's so fucking big. He looks like a caveman. He's so large. And his waist isn't even that big. It was weird. Micah Parsons, he's also a nominee. Saw him at Super Bowl in an Uber, crossing the street, said he would pod swap with me. I said I would love to. He's fucking awesome. What do you think the convos between him and Jerry Jones are like?
I mean, it's hey Jerry, you just see what Myles Garrett got paid. I mean, you might as well just give me that same contract before you owe me $5 million more if you let me hit free agency next year. That's what I would say if I was Micah Parsons.
Would you really?
Yeah, I really would.
When you were Micah Parsons' age or your age now?
Micah Parsons' age. Actually, with the experience and knowledge and not being so fearful, I would have to be my age of being able to go up to someone of that type of status in Jerry Jones. But at 24, 25 years old, I would have let my agent do that one. Yeah, so I would put my agent up to it.
Yeah.
Well, Chop Robinson. There we go, Jules. I was going with Chop Robinson too. Why? Because he has a cool name. He had a solid rookie year. He had 6 sacks. I don't think he's going to be 1 or 2 on the all dudes team, but he's definitely just needed to be mentioned because of the year that he had, and he's going to be a future star at the edge position.
That's a great edge rushing name.
Mm-hmm.
Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson's coming to get you.
The only way to take down Mr. Robinson is to chop him. So get your ass low, boys.
Get your ass low. Just like Kyle Van Noy did all year at 33 years old with 12 and a half sacks. All pro Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Kyle Van Noy is still doing it.
Love that guy. Love Kyle. I loved him. I played with him in New England, and one time he gave me the electric chair. He was guarding me one-on-one outside, and boom, he jammed me, and like it stunned me off the line. And then ever since that day, he still brings it up to me. He asked me how that electric chair is doing because he electrocuted me right off the line. I couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. So props to Kyle Van Noy, man. That's when I knew he was a dog when he did that to me. I was like, dang. And then he's still going. He's still going.
You remember the first day he came to New England after we traded for him in like the middle of the season? I got kicked out of practice.
I don't really remember this, Jules.
I don't think I got kicked out of practice, but Bill got really mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was like,
what happened?
I blocked him. I lit him up. It was his first day there, and I lit his ass up. I forgot what, but I hit him really hard, and Coach got mad at me. I said, "What? This is fucking welcome to the team, bro. We practice hard here, dog. This ain't Detroit. Welcome. Don't be walking around this land thinking you could just fucking tiddlywink.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tiddlywink around here."
That's one thing you did love to do when a new player came to the team, Jules. You showed them what's up. You showed them that we worked hard. You showed them that we practice as hard as we play. It's like you and Stephon Gilmore. You were going at him when he first signed with the Patriots. You did it with Kyle Van Noy. You did it with a couple other signings or guys that we traded for. So we appreciate you doing that, man. You know, setting the standard for the new guys, even if they were vets. You know, that's what's up.
We needed to harden old Van Noy up. But fucking... He was cool. We ended up growing, having a great relationship after that. It's unbelievable to see that, you know, he's still balling. 12 and a half sacks, a lot of sacks, dude. 33 years old.
Well, who you got on your first team, Jules? Come on, let's hear it. I'm going to tell you who's on my first team. I'm going with Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he just led the league in sacks. He sent me the jersey, which I'm going to read to you. Rob, Hall of Fame career and Hall of Fame character. That's right, baby. I got Hall of Fame character. I appreciate that. Thank you for everything. God bless. And Trey, I still owe you a Tampa Bay jersey because we went versus each other plenty of times when he was on the Saints and I was on the Bucks. So I'll be sending that jersey out when I find it. It's stuffed in my garage right now at the bottom because I'm cleaning out the house. But that jersey will be coming your way once I eventually get it, man. And you're on my first team, my first all dudes team of all time.
First team, Hendrickson?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a heck of a year, man.
Heck of a year. I'll give you that. Second team for me then. Myles Garrett.
That's who I was going with. It's got to be Myles Garrett, man. He wasn't
And
just.
I trained with Mason Rudolph. Good for, like a few times he threw to me. But anytime a guy takes a goddamn helmet off and tries to beat another man with it, I mean, that's an old dude to me. That's an old dude to me. Let's get on to the next episode or the next position. Safety. The nominees, Xavier McKinney of Green Bay, 8 interceptions, 60 tackles. Hasn't posted on IG since August. He's locked in. He's in 0 dark 30 mode. It's been August. Like him. Kyle Hamilton, one of my favorite football players. Solid third year. He's around doing everything. I think he's a really good football player. Great tackler. Makes big plays. He covers tight ends, too. He can cover.
And he's a big guy as well. Those are the hardest guys to get open against, are the guys that are quick and then also big and lanky, because that's my skill set. That I use my length and my size to my advantage. And then when you got a guy like Kyle Hamilton, who's a bigger safety who can stay with you, it makes it tough.
Annoying.
It's annoying. There you go. You hit it right on. It's annoying. It's like he's always there because you're so used to giving a little shove to a little guy and then the ball being there and they can't reach and, deflect the pass. Well, Kyle Hamilton has that length that he can reach and deflect the pass sense. So it is annoying. It's like that bug, that fly that's always around the house that you can't just swat away.
Without a doubt. I agree with 1,000%. Kyle Hamilton's that. Brian Branch is a nominee from Detroit. I mean, he's not only a baller, but he's one of the guys that stayed healthy on that defense. One of like 3.
Unlike most of Detroit's defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate, though. I think they would have won the Super Bowl. Yeah. That was unfortunate to see so many injuries.
That's why it's hard to win a Super Bowl. That's what people don't realize. Everything's got to go the right way.
It really does.
Buda Baker of Arizona, nominee, sick name. 95 solo tackles. Reminds me of Bob Sanders back in the day. Remember Bobby Sanders from Indianapolis?
I do. He was kind of like, he was shorter, but he was more thick. He was jacked.
I know, but he just was like a torpedo. Like he would just come down. He didn't care about his body and he would blow himself up. Didn't play many games because he literally blew himself up. But that's how Buda Baker plays to me. He plays like downhill, full speed all the time.
Kind of like an Earl Thomas. Back in the day when he was on Seattle.
Like Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas.
And then Reed Blankenship, Philadelphia. Exciting White, third year, 4 interceptions. Got to put him on a nominee. And then our alumni nominee, Rodney Harrison. The
2003, 2002, the 2004 Rodney Harrison. Just always laying the wood over the middle. How much did Bill talk about Rodney, Jules?
I mean, we talk anytime we were starting pads, practice, like that was like clockwork every fucking, look, this is where it separates people. They're not in underwear. Guys like Rodney Harrison would fucking hit you. Like, we'd always hear Rodney Harrison. But Rodney was also around. And I liked Rodney because I remember him talking to some of the younger DBs, like putting them in their place, young guys that were young-minded. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He should definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
He should be. All-around good player.
My first team for safety, Kyle Hamilton. I think he's a baller. Third year. He's got to stay healthy. Continue to get that defense going. They always find, Baltimore always finds a secondary guy and a linebacker. And they got themselves the secondary guy.
And the second team, all dudes, safety. I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me here, Jules. We love his name. Love the way that he plays the game as well. Just fearless out there, out in the backfield of the defense. And that's Buda Baker from the Arizona Cardinals, man. I mean, guy's a monster for his size, and he's just all over the place. He's always around that ball. When you're always around that football, good things happen to you, and that's what Buda Baker, brings to the defensive side of the ball.
I mean, he did get chased down by DK, but DK is a long man.
DK is long. He's got a stride. He's fast, and he just got paid $150 million because DK is an absolute freak of nature, Jules.
Absolute. Let's go on to our next position. All dudes, cornerback. Our nominees, Patrick Surtain II, fourth year in, got paid $96.0 million. Just a lot. 96 point. You just want to say point M. $1 million extension. No one throws to him. There's a reason why. Derek Stingley Jr. out of Houston. I think he's a baller. 5 interceptions. Third year. Patriot bloodline. Grandson of Daryl Stingley.
Wide receiver.
Receiver. Sauce Gardner, a nominee in Buffalo Wild Wings ads. Got a cool name. Already a star. Wish he didn't have his strongest year this year, though.
He didn't.
It wasn't as strong, but a lot of distractions in New York this year, especially on defense. Had like 20 different coaches. Jalen Ramsey got paid 3-year, $72 million extension. Byron Murphy out of Minnesota, 6 interceptions. So I think our first team corner easy. Patrick Surtain too.
Yeah, that's an easy choice. I mean, he's been the heart and soul of the Denver Broncos defense, and they don't even throw his way. Like, I wish they threw his way more to see, what type of player he is in all situations, but no one will even give him that chance because he's just that locked down. And when you're that locked down, you're getting paid as the top corner like you just did, and no one's going to throw your way because you're just that good. That's kind of like Revis's Island. Like, no one would really dare throw to that side of the field because you just know that it's not going to be possible.
You're putting them in Revis Island?
No, I'm just saying already? It's like Revis Island, man. All right. It's like no one throws his way, like just like Revis Island, how they wouldn't throw his way.
And our second team, we're going Stingley Jr. Just because you got Patriot bloodline. I think that's cool. Anytime you got bloodline. All right, corner number 2, first team all dude nominees, Trent McDuffie. He was so built. I didn't realize he was so big on the bottom end. I saw him at practice. He had a big bottom end, like legs, thighs. He was fucking he looked like a horse. He also had 6 TFLs, 13 pass defends, 2 interceptions. Made a lot of big plays on third down. Christian Gonzalez, Rob.
Yeah, he came back from injury this year. I mean, he had a solid rookie year going on now. Got hurt, which was unfortunate, but he had a solid, sophomore season with New England. He's just a stud. He wears number 0. And you got to give him some love because he's just a quiet whiz. He's a good guy. And when you're a quiet, type of person, you sometimes really don't get that much love, especially when, you're on a team that hasn't won over the last 2 years. So Christian Gonzalez, keep doing your thing. The love is going to come. The all pros are going to come. All the Pro Bowls are going to come eventually, but just keep doing you, man.
And he works with mental health. I see him on an ad all the time. Mental health ad.
We should sign up, Jules.
I need it. I need it. Cooper DeJean, he's an exciting white at a pick 6 on his birthday in the Super Bowl. That's pretty fucking cool. But I put him more in the star category. He's a nickel, more of a nickel. He can't be in, that he's not there yet. Denzel Ward, 42 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7th year in Cleveland. Lockdown corner. I've always respected his game, and he makes me think of Denzel Washington because of his name. So 7 years in Cleveland, you got to have some kind of award. J.C. Horn out of Carolina. He's a baller. 68 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. Pro Bowler, just got paid for a buck. $100 million.
What about his dad, master of touchdown celebrations, Joe Horn? He had the cell phone celebration, Jules. Remember that back in the day?
Took it out of the field goal post pad.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, the field goal post pad. That was pretty funny. That was cool. Baller, man. That's cool. I didn't know that J.C. Horn was the son of Joe Horn. So that's a learning fact right there. You know, you always learn something new every day, Jules.
You learn that J.C. Horn is a son of Joe Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Jair Alexander. This guy cracks me up. I think he's a good corner. I think he's a little young, but I just love the story when he came out to captain against the when they played Carolina Panthers, and he wasn't even a captain. And the coach asked him, "Why did you go out?" And he goes, "Coach, I'm from North Carolina. You didn't realize." And so he put himself and nominated himself for captain that game. I think he got suspended the next week. But that was a funny thing. That was funny to me. That's all dude jokester.
That is, man. That's good stuff.
First and second team. First team for me, I'm going Trent McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a stud. And
What I love about Trent McDuffie is that he knows how to jam guys off the line. And that's when a lot of routes are won is right off the line of scrimmage once you get around the guy. But Trent McDuffie is a guy that you can't really, beat him at the very beginning. You got to beat him at top of your route because he can jam you. And that's why I appreciate it about his game when I was watching him over the last few years with Kansas City.
Second team, Rob?
I'm going to go with your guy, Jules. Your guy, Jair Alexander. After that story that you just told, I'm going with Alexander, man. I'm going with him. How about you? What do you think? What do you think with that one?
I thought we were going to go Christian Gonzalez. Was he no pro this year?
No, he kind of got shafted, like I said.
He was second team all pro.
Oh, really? He got shafted from the Pro Bowl. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But second team all pro. All right. I'm going to take that back because I am a big fan of Christian Gonzalez. I think he should be second team for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
shut down. He shuts down his defenders. If you see the stats that those top wide receivers had when going one-on-one with Christian Gonzalez, you would be like, why is Christian Gonzalez not an all-pro first team? Because he shut them all down. It was something like 20 yards per game. He had a great year, and he's just going to continue to get better.
Bill drafted him. Let's move on to linebackers. All dudes, linebackers. Nominees, Patrick Queen, Pittsburgh, went over from Baltimore in division. Leaves, new team, 65 solo tackles. He's a Stephen Ridley, Randy Moss level fisherman. Check out his IG. The guy loves fishing. My brother's a big fisherman. I always respect that. Frank Louveau. How do you say it? Louveau?
Louveau.
My bad, Frankie. Frankie Louveau. First year in Washington, 54 solo tackles. He's Samoan. And that hurts. That's a special spot in my heart. They hold a special spot. And his dad played for the Fiji national rugby team.
What about Frankie Louveau with when they were playing the Philadelphia Eagles and they're tush pushing to get into the end zone? He just kept jumping off sides.
We met him, remember?
Yeah, we did meet him real quick. That was cool.
The night before, we got IVs with him before the game.
Before the game.
Didn't give him any luck. Clearly, he got blown out. But he was a fucking cool dude. I like him.
And he's a baller. I love the way that he can get off the line of scrimmage. He has that first step and seems like a guy that's hard to move like that. He's got the hit stick when I was watching him in that game.
Definitely. Zach Bond, Swiss Army knife, Philadelphia Eagles, was a teamer, comes over, is all pro. All pro. Was a special teamer to all pro. 93 solo tackles. Had a really good pick in that in the Super Bowl. He had a pick he had a couple. This guy balled out, man. Howie Roseman just finding diamonds in the rough. Just signed a 3-year, $51 million. Eagles pay everyone. I don't know how they do it. And then we got to have our alumni, Dante Hightower. He's an all dude because of his calves.
Biggest calves in the league, Jules, by far.
And he gets so mad at me when I call him Donta, but his name's Dante. And then Demario Davis from New Orleans. He was a baller this year. 69 solo tackles. He is 36 years old and still getting after it. Shout out, fun fact, Snapple fact, Steve McNair, Air McNair's cousin. Crazy story about that McNair. Crazy story.
I watched Demario Davis play, and I know he's a year older than me, and I just watched him playing at that high level still to this day, and it just makes me wonder how he's doing it. I'm like, man, I'm a year younger than him, and I can't picture myself being able to do that anymore. And this guy is just going out there and he's playing at the highest level possible at the linebacker position. And he's 36 years old. So shout out to his longevity. I mean, great player when he was on the New York Jets. He's a great player, through his 30s, being on the New Orleans Saints. So whatever you're doing, man, keep it up. You're a straight baller.
Keep it up. Baller. First team linebacker, Zach Bond. Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? This guy reinvented himself. Had the storybook ending to a year this year. Gets signed to Philadelphia. Hasn't played a major role on defense. Goes out, becomes all-pro, wins a Super Bowl, and then gets a big paycheck. He's a first-team all-dude. Second-team all-dude for you, Rob?
Second team, all dude. I really do like Dante's Hightower's calves, but that's the level that we're looking at. I'm still wondering if those calves were even real, Jules. Every day I looked at those bad boys.
Implants were a thing in that earlier in that time.
Exactly. But I'm gonna go with Demario Davis. I mean, just what he's doing at that position. Just at that age as well. He had 69 solo tackles, and that's being an all dude. This guy knows how to get it done. 69 is a great number. He could have had probably 70, 71 tackles this year, but he stopped right there, and that's why he's an all dude. And he's on the all dude second team defense for linebackers, Jules.
And then honorable mention, Donta Hightower's calves. On to the next position, the green dot. The linebacker that makes the calls in the middle of the field, that has the microphone, the quarterback of the defense. Nominees, Roquan Smith of Baltimore, 3 years all-pro. 3 years in a row, all-pro. Stud. Demario Davis, he's a green dot guy, but we gave him on there. We're just going to put him on there. Bobby Wagner. Guy's 34 years old, still flying. We played against him in a Super Bowl years ago. He was on that team, right? Bobby Wagner, he was young on that team.
Yeah, he was. Absolute stud.
Zaire Franklin, 173 total tackles. Led the league, 173.
How do you possibly have 173 tackles?
That's a tackle every play.
Absolute maniac.
Fred Warner, he's tribal to me. He's like, I saw him do the LeBron throw up, where LeBron throws. He was doing that with grass before a joint practice against the Raiders in Vegas. He took grass, he was smelling it and throwing it up. Like, that's an alt dude to me. And then Nick Bolton, Kansas City. I wonder if there's any relation to Michael Bolton. He's the anchor of the Kansas City defense, and he just got paid, like you were about to say. 3 years, $45 million.
And which Michael Bolton are you talking, Jules? The singer or the guy in Office Space?
The singer, of course.
Why the singer?
The singer. Because dude's really good with the fucking brass, dog.
Oh,
guys,
all right.
He's a sax guy, right? Michael Bolton. right? Saxophone, right?
Mm-hmm. That sounds like
some...
a sax. You should play, bro. You should play.
First team all dot. For me.
Who is it for you? I got my guy in mind. Who's your first teamer?
I'm going Fred Warner.
All right, I'm cool with that. I mean, he's the heartbeat of the San Francisco's defense. I mean, he played in 2024 with a broken ankle as well, and he's been featured on our show as well. A couple weeks ago throughout the season. So that was really cool.
Who are you thinking, Rob?
I was thinking Bobby Wagner. I mean, this guy's a legend right now. I mean, he leads that Washington Commanders defense with presence. You know, he commands that defense. He's one of the reasons why they had such a great year this year. We played against someone he was, on the Legion of Boom defense in Seattle, and he's just still going. You got to give him credit. Bobby Wagner is my second team, all dot dude.
First team all dot, Fred Warner. Second team all dot,
Bobby Wagner, Washington Commanders.
Roquan Smith too, man. Sorry, Roquan. Where's that leave us? All dudes teamer with the help of Matthew Slater.
He's special teams god.
I asked him. Let's see if I can get you to hear this. Let's see what the slate analysis of the teamers are.
All dudes team, first team, second team, all dudes. I mean, you gotta put Schooler on there. First team, all dude. Dude's a dude, man. What do you want me to tell you? The Joker can flat out play. Size, speed, quickness, hands, want to, toughness. Could play with us, man. Could play with us. Then second team all dude is tough. Because I like Jeremy Reeves in Washington. I like Ballore in Washington. But if I got to go second team all dude, I'm going JT Gray. Saints. Probably been one of the most underrated players in our league for the last 5-6 years. Check him out. Led the league in special teams tackles. Not a top end burner. Just great finisher at the ball carrier. Physical in the return game. Will lay you out. And just finds his way to the ball. And this sucker is productive. I think he's got like 93 special teams tackles since he came in the league. Most in the league during that span. So those would be my two teamers. Schooler, first team. JT Gray, second team.
JT Gray. Those are our first and second team.
Mm-hmm.
Khalif Raymond out of Detroit. He was pretty good. Led the league in punt returns this year. Also, who's the Cowboys returner? Turpin should be up there. He's a beast. But we get our consulting for special teams from the special teams god, Matthew Slater. And he says Brandon Schooler, first team. JT Gray, second team. Wait, if JT Gray has the most tackles since he came in 93, shouldn't he be first team, though? Kevontae Turpin, one of my favorite returners all year long. So I think we go with Slate. What do you think?
Well, Jules, I'm going to kind of leave this one up to you because I never really been a special teamer. And the one time I was on special teams, I was on field goal protection and I put my arm out to block and Sergio Brown ran into my arm and it snapped my wrist back and it broke my forearm. So I wasn't really that great on special teams, never really played it. The biggest highlight of my career was when I was on kickoff return my rookie year. Dan Conley, he got the ball because he was in the middle of the what was it called when you can combine the three
wedge.
guys? Yeah, the wedge. He was in the middle of the wedge, but they kicked him the ball. He got it as an offensive lineman. He ran it about to the 4-yard line. But on that play, I pancaked the defender right in front of him when he got the ball. So that's my biggest highlight on special teams in my career in the NFL. So I'm going to leave this one up to you, Jules. This one's all you. You were an amazing punt returner. You were a great kick returner. You were an all-around special teams guy. So, Jules, whoever you think you got advice from Slater, you got knowledge from him, who was maybe the best special teams player of all times in NFL history. So this one's all on you, Jules. But I do want to bring up the Amendola, too. You know, he was a teamer back in the day, and 21.3% of his, snaps were special teams as well when he was with New England. He played plenty of times. So just shout out to him as well, our good old friend, Danny the Dancer Amendola.
Danny the Dancer Amendola. He was a really good teamer. Great hands.
Not as good as
on
you.
On the hands team.
Sorry, Dola. You were better, Jules.
Danny was very good. And shout out to Cavante Turpin. He's a monster. He had 904.
The Cowboys returner, right?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Turpin was, I remember Belichick even saying, why the fuck would you kick to this guy?
He's good.
And he also he's an all-dude guy because he came the long way. I think he was in the USFL or something. He was like the MVP of some watered-down league or whatever. So, first team, Brandon Schooler, Patriot. Second team, JT Gray, with the helps of Matthew Slater.
Thank you, Slater. We appreciate you. You've always been a great teammate, and you're still a great teammate, Slater. Thank you.
An honorable mention, Cavante Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
Guy who's electric with the ball's hand. Also,
Devin Hester, one of the most electric special teamers of all time.
I think it was like 2010 or 11. I had a punt return average of 15 point something. And that's really high. That's 8 yards higher than what the average is, league average. And it was like a record. It was like a crazy great year. And there was one guy that had higher than me. It was fucking Devin Hester, and he had a 17, which was a record. It was crazy. And he had 2 touchdowns. He was electric. First ballot Hall of Famer, man. First time as a special teamer, right? Was he first ballot? Or not first ballot. Not first ballot, but he's a special team returner. I think he's the first returner to go in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking incredible.
Electric.
All right. First team, all dude, leg. The leg. Nominees, Chris Boswell from Pittsburgh. Steelers' only offense this year. Brandon Aubrey from Dallas. Multiple 60-plus yarders this year, and he played professional soccer. Chase McLaughlin, Tampa Bay, 93.8% of the time. He hits every time. Jack Fox, Detroit punter, which is weird. I don't think they punted a lot, but he was a Pro Bowl punter. Prime Sebastian Janikowski. I could smell the vodka coming off his breath right now.
Dude was an absolute unit, and he was the Polish hammer.
I remember Scotty O'Brien all day just said, this guy loves vodka. That. All the coaches love talking about Sebastian Janikowski being an alcoholic, and he would put him right down the goddamn middle every fucking time for a long time. Adam Vinatieri got snubbed from the Hall of Fame.
He's got to be in the Hall of Fame eventually, but he got snubbed from being a first-timer Hall of Fame.
First ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley, even though he doesn't kick, but he is Saquad.
Mm-hmm. Sick legs.
Harris Buckner. He's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
He's kicked. He was unbelievable. And you could think about what he does off the field on your own. This is a non-judging podcast. For me, I'm going first team kick, leg, first team leg, Aubrey. shout out Jerry Jones. Found another one.
Finding someone that can finally score on multiple occasions, especially past 60-plus yards, which is incredible, man. They hit a couple over 60 yards as a kicker. These kickers are just becoming stronger and just, more precise as the years go on. It's funny because kickers, they go on a streak where, like, weeks 1 through 7, every kicker hits everything. And then, like, weeks 7 through 15, like, every team's looking for a new kicker. And then, like,
the ball hardens up. The colder it gets, that ball gets a little harder to kick. Mm-hmm. We got to shout out Steve Gronkowski, man.
Oh, I love Steve.
Meat.
I love Steve Gronkowski. I mean, he came through in the clutch plenty of times for us.
Well, people don't realize Steve had like the best kicking percentage until like the last year of his career of all time. Like, he was lights out. He fucked up his hip a little, and when those kickers, they mess up a little something, it fucks him up. And then, that's kind of where it went. But Steve was electric. He made a lot of big kicks for us. Huge.
He sure did. He handled that pressure coming after Vinatieri as well. And, like, it was like, Vinatieri was a huge loss, but, like, it didn't feel like a huge loss, for New England because of Gronkowski.
Which, that's hard to say because that's how good Adam Vinatieri was. Second team all leg.
I'm gonna go with Chris Boswell. I mean, he was consistent for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He was.
It was their only offense, basically, at times.
There was like 5 games where he had like 6. There was like 3 games where I swear he had like 6 field goals.
The Pittsburgh Steelers won a game this year without scoring a touchdown. He kicked all the points for them. I mean,
it was like 28 points.
Exactly. You deserve to be on the all dudes team for doing that, scoring all the points in a game and winning.
All right, our last all dude defense of guy or person or dude is the security. Okay? Nominees. Tua's arms home security, hired in response to league-wide break-ins. Tua hired armed security at the house. That's an all-dude moment.
Sure is.
Olivia Ponton, employee of the month at Joe Burrow's house. She was there during the break-in. She kept everything safe. Lionel Messi's personal security guard. Have you ever seen this guy on the fucking sideline?
I love him. He's always watching like a hawk, and he's running up and down. It's freaking incredible. Imagine having your own personal security guy like that at all times. Guy's beastly. He's a beast.
He's a beast. This is what every college football's dream is. Every college football coach's dream for the what is it called? The stand back guy or the pushback guy?
Yep.
Like, Messi's got it all dialed in. He's got a guy that's literally like chasing the ball. And then lastly, Big Dom. He's pretty much the goddamn mayor of Philly. He's got unmarked cop cars, Escalades, recruited Darius Slay back to Philly in free agency. I mean, there's anything to do with security. I saw it firsthand. Dom is your guy. So first team, all security for me, Big Dom is number 1.
I can't argue with that one, Jules.
Number 2, I mean,
we got to go with Lionel Messi's personal security guard. The guy is always hustling. He's watching 24/7 what's going on. He's basically a security camera at all times for Lionel Messi. So he's by far number 2.
And then honorable mention, Olivia Ponton. I mean, you got to keep the enterprise of Joe Burrow. You got to keep that enterprise going. And when those little sneaky thieves tried to rob Sir Joe Burrow's house, because he's dressing like, Burrow Chalamet. That's what I'm going to call him, because he dresses like Chalamet. Joe Burrow Chalamet, when someone is trying to sneak into that house, not so fast. Olivia Ponton's there to stop it all from going down. So he can just worry about creating the craziest amount of stats you possibly can for a quarterback. So that's the all dude teams. Let's go over and recap them. Our 2025 first team, all dudes defense, interior Jalen Carter, edge Trey Hendrickson, linebacker Zach Bond, safety Kyle Hamilton, cornerback 1 Patrick Surtain, cornerback 2 Trent McDuffie, teamer Brendan Schooler with consultants from Matthew Slater, green dot Fred Warner, leg Brandon Aubrey, and security Big Dom. And now let's go to our 2025 second team all-dude defense, Roberto.
And our interior defensive lineman, second team all-dude, is Vita Vea from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just a monster. We got Edge,
Kava.
Miles, Garrett. You can drink Kava all day with Vita Vea, going back to him, Jules. And then at linebacker position, we got Demario Davis, that is. An honorable mention, Dante Hightower's Cavs, biggest Cavs to ever play in the NFL. We're still wondering if they were implanted or not. We will find out one day. At the safety position, we got Buda Baker. Great name. Great all dudes name. No doubt about that.
Fucking flies, too.
At cornerback 1, we got Daryl Stingley. At cornerback 2, we got Christian Gonzalez. Special teamer, JT Gray with honorable mention, Cavante Turpin. Bill Belichick loves that guy. The green dot.
I think everyone does.
Everyone does. Love his speed.
Monster.
Lethal weapon. At the green dot, we got Bobby Wagner, heart and soul of the Washington Commanders defense. Leg, we have a kicker here in Chris Boswell. Won a game, just kicking all field goals for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And at the security position, we got Lionel Messi, security guard, who just hawks down anyone that is eyeing down Lionel Messi.
Don't even fucking look at him wrong.
Mm-mm.
Or his security guy we don't even know the name of will fucking come get you. If you look at him wrong from the nosebleeds, he will fucking find you.
Mm-hmm. You got that right. And an honorable mention, Olivia Pontoon. Just keeping Joe Burrow's casa safe. That's a good woman right there. That really is.
And that's what we got. That's our all dudes team. What a team. What do you guys think about the first ever all dudes team?
It's a great group of dudes. It's a great group of dudes.
I want to hear.
I want to hear
dogs. I want to hear in the comment section. Plenty of dogs, some whizzes. Oh, we got studs. We definitely got some dudes, and even some freaks. Still getting open and scoring against this all defense, Rob?
Not at the high rate that I typically would, versus any defense, but versus all dudes, defense, my rate of scoring would go down a little bit. I mean, these guys are all dudes.
It'd go down 0.69%.
Exactly. There we go, Jules. You got right to it. Thank you.
Well, let's get into the Chillest Dude of the Week, brought to you by our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes. Celebrate responsibly. The Chillest Dude of the Week. This week.
Delicious, Jules.
Muy delicioso.
Yo soy fiesta.
Is you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yo soy fiesta.
That's the fans. The Chillest Dude of the Week this week are the fans that left us questions in the YouTube comments, Jules. Keep them coming. Yes, please.
We've pulled some. Let's answer them.
Yeah, here we go, Jules. I'll go with the first one from @Yukon Camino. Gronk needs to announce draft pick number 69. Let's make this happen. Hey, that's why
Who has draft pick 69?
I'm not sure who was draft pick 69 this year, Jules, but this guy is one of the chillest dudes of the week because he's saying just silly, chill do things like I should announce the 69 draft pick. And Jules, who has it?
You know who has the 69?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They do.
I didn't know that. Wow. I should
They should have you.
You're right.
You need to go in and announce the 69th pick for the Patriots.
That's
Rob.
a good idea. I might have to do it now, Jules. I might have to do it. Wow.
Let's do it. Let's make this happen. We got to text Stacey James right now.
Yes, I'm down. I should do it. That's what, day 2 of the draft? Where's the draft this year?
Green Bay.
Oh, man. That's
the draft's in Green Bay.
It's a tough place to get to. Yeah, it is in Green Bay.
The draft is in Green Bay. Oh my God, what are we doing? All right,
Jules. This is why I should announce the 69th pick. For the New England Patriots this year. First off, our fans came up with the idea. Our Chillest fans of the week came up with this wonderful idea that I should be announcing this pick. So thank you guys for that. And now a light bulb went off. Why I should be announcing the 69th pick? Well, first off, when we were in San Diego, Jules, when Bill made us go out to practice with just T-shirts on and no names and numbers, well, what did I do? I taped the number 69 onto the back of my T-shirt because I wanted to be number 69. And Bill made me take that tape off right away or else I couldn't continue the practice. So that was one of my most 69 legendary moments in my career. And on top of it, I scored my 69 touchdown versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And Mike Reese, ESPN reporter, asked me about it. And it became a big thing right after that game because that was my 69th touchdown, in my career. So that was another cool moment that went, pretty viral as well when I was on the Patriots. It had to do with 69. So Patriots, if you guys are smart, Stacey James out there, please let me announce the 69th pick of the draft this year. You guys hold that pick. It would just be legendary, not just for myself, but for all the fans out there. Thank you.
I could see Vrabel trading the pick.
Just so we don't have it anymore?
Yeah, just so you don't steal the thunder. Well, you'll steal the thunder at that fucking place.
And Vrabel wouldn't like that. He'd be like, Gronk stealing the thunder once again with the New England Patriots. Well, whatever you do, Patriots.
I'm joking.
Whatever you do, don't trade that pick. Don't trade it. Please don't. We need it.
Let's jump into our next question from Kevin Emery 1177. Julian, what did Bill Belichick say to you after you won a Super Bowl MVP? And did he treat you any different after? You said you were a rookie. When you were a rookie, he wanted you to know who important veterans were. And I think you were one of those important vets afterwards. I don't remember Bill ever really saying. Actually, I think Bill said something like, it should have been Ryan Allen or something. He said, the punter. Thanks, coach. Love you too. Next question. From Paul Gray 6100. I have no idea how or why I'm watching Edelman at 5 a.m. What are they watching?
Yeah, Jules.
Names or dudes on dudes?
Yeah, or is there something out there that you have out that's on a 5 a.m. show, Jules? I mean,
no.
What is it?
I don't know. Maybe he's just surfing. He's just surfing the web. Rob, what do you watch at 5 a.m.? Infomercials?
He must have that algorithm where he just watches you so much, Jules, that even at 5 a.m. it just pops up on his phone or on his TV or whatever he's watching on, which it was just cool. Props to him watching the squirrel at 5 a.m. And what do I watch at 5 a.m.? I watch nothing at 5 a.m., man. If I'm up at 5 a.m., I'm actually kind of pissed at myself for even being up. So I'm always trying to go back to sleep. I listen to meditation music actually at that time if I'm trying to, get myself back to sleep.
When I was a kid, I used to get up so early on Saturdays to watch the Saturday morning cartoons. And before the Saturday morning cartoons, if you were there at like 6 or 5, it was infomercials. And so I remember I used to watch the infomercial for Macintosh. They were trying to sell email for the first time ever. Like, people are like, wait, you could send a letter to someone in seconds in another country, right? Like, what the fuck is this thing? And like, it was like going through just like the work friendliness of like the Mac, the first Mac. Like, oh, look, if you double click right here, you can get into your email. I'm like, what the fuck is... I watched that infomercial maybe 20 times. It's Mac when I was a kid. So shout out to infomercials. Let's get back to our questions from the fans. Rob, this one's you.
All right, from @Mobin Real Deep. Thanks for the fun shows the past few months, y'all. Hey, @Mobin Real Deep. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a fan. We do it for you. We do it for all you guys out there that tune into us. And this sip right here, for being one of the chillest dudes of the week, this sip is for you. Thank you to our fans, Jules.
He's got a couple ideas for us on the other episode. For other episodes. Number 1, lady dudes. Serena, Sue Bird, Caitlin Clark, etc. 1000% need lady dudes, because dudes is not a guy. A dude is everything. And then number 2, from Mob and Real Deep, dudes in other sports, Lewis Hamilton, Kobe, Tiger, etc. Enjoy the break, y'all. Have a good time with the kiddos, Jules. That's Mob and Deep.
Sorry, Jules. I wasn't paying too much attention there because Ralphie was yelling at me because he's been quiet for the last 2 hours, letting me podcast with you. He's been laying there, but now it's his time to shine, and he's yelling at me. So I think those are great ideas to have lady dudes and also dudes in other sports. That would be
and
really
dog
cool.
Dudes, because of Ralphie.
Dog dudes would be really cool. We can turn on the dog channel, check them out, check what breed we want to talk about, what our favorite dog is, what our favorite tricks are that these dogs are doing. So that's a great idea, man. We got to eventually do it. We will get there, possibly, but we'll take a sip to that again, Jules. Cheers to lady dudes and dudes in other sports right now. Delicious.
It is good. It is good. And that's been the chillest dude of the week. Thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes. Celebrate responsibly. And that's been another episode of Dudes on Dudes. What could we have done better?
I was feeling a little sweaty this episode. I'm not really sure why, but after I sipped my Coors Light and drank a little bit of it and the show, I started feeling better. I started feeling loose. I chilled out a little bit. So I'm going to start sipping Coors Light, throughout the whole entire show from here on out. And I feel like I could perform better because I'm more relaxed and more chilled. So that's my self-scout right there.
You were sweaty?
I don't know why.
You just get done watching Cops?
I was sweating a little bit. I got a workout done earlier, and I'm kind of like inflamed from it a little bit because, like I said, I'm getting back into it, a routine. I was just like hot. I had like a couple hot flashes, but I'm telling you, ever since I took a sip of this, I've been feeling great.
Sweaty. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment a dude you want us to do. And remember,
rate and review. And also remember to follow Dudes on Dudes on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. We will see you all next week.
Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.